If you want to learn how to troubleshoot and replace the solenoid on your mower, then stay tuned. This video is for you. This is a departure from my adventure photo videos and technology related videos, but it does have something to do with the real world, and that is when your mower decides not to start, and that's what's going on here. I have a Toro zero-turn mower here. This is the SW5000. I've had this for a number of years, but this year when I pulled it out of its winterization, I went to start it and it's not starting. Now, if you have a mower that has a power start and a battery to it, there is a good chance that the problem is either the battery or it's the solenoid. And I'm going to show you how to troubleshoot that right now, so let's get into it. The mower looks pretty good coming out of winterization here, but let's go over what the problem is. And right here is the switch to get it started, and my chokes are right here, and this is my throttle control. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn this on, and let's see what kind of sound it's making. So that's the on position right here, and then I'm going to fire up the starter, and here we go. I don't know how well we can hear that on the video. It's just making a clicking sound, and last year towards the tail end it would really be slow to start. So let's go ahead and take a closer look. Underneath the seat you'll see the battery right here, and when we follow the cables back, this is my ground right here, and this is going to be my positive right here. Now the positive's running back here to the solenoid, which is what this is right here, and the solenoid just acts as a connector of this power. So it's going to send power to the starter, which runs right up in there and connects to the motor. So what's going on here is I believe our solenoid is bad, and the first thing we want to do is check our battery. So I'm going to get a multimeter and we're going to see what kind of voltage this battery has. You can use a multimeter of any kind. This is just a really basic one here. I'm going to go ahead and set this to check my volts, and then we're going to go ahead and connect it and see what we got. So we're going to go positive to positive, negative to negative, and you can see we are showing 12.57. So that tells me this battery is good. It's strong, it's ready to go. The problem is not with the battery at this point. Now that we know that the battery is good, what we can do is we can check the wire right here as well. I'm going to put my negative to negative, and I'm going to come over to my post over here on the solenoid, and we're going to touch this down. And we can see that we're still showing 12 point, there's 5.6. So we know that the connection on our positive wire here coming out of the battery is good up to the solenoid post. Now that solenoid, when you turn the switch, connects the power from this post to this post over here, and then it runs to the starter. Now one thing you can do is you can test this by holding our negative to negative over here on the battery and then going to the other post. Now right now it's going to be 0 because there's no one turning the switch. Now I'm just by myself here, but if I were turning the switch and I go to crank it, I should see 12 and some change right here. I should see that number of volts coming through, and of course if I did, I would hear the starter go. So if you have someone helping you, you can do that just to confirm that the problem is in the solenoid. But I can tell because of the clicking and there's no cranking, the problem is my solenoid. I ordered up a new solenoid and just got this off Amazon. Now this just got in yesterday, and I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the description below. A lot of these are relatively generic. Just be sure that you look for your manufacturer and take a look at your solenoid to be sure it looks very similar. Just keep in mind the purpose of the solenoid. It's really just to send that power over to the starter. So this is it right here. It's just in a little bubble wrap. And we're going to take this out and take a closer look at it. Yeah, it looks pretty basic. And it looks like it's the similar configuration that I have of what's already in there. Looks like there's something else in this box. This might be a bonus. Let's see. Oh, it says congratulations. So, you know, they want to make you feel good when you purchase something like this. So yeah, it's got a little email for support here, a little QR code here on the back, and it's got installation video. So there you go, but we're not going to use that. We're just going to dive right in. Let's go ahead and pull this one out, put the new one in, and see if this works for us. I have a 1/2 inch socket right here, and that's what's required to get that nut off. You might also be able to use some just basic pliers. It just depends on how tight it is. I also have a little extension right here, so whatever works for you. One thing I do want to mention is be careful not to touch these two posts together. Now, it is another way to test your solenoid. If you took a screwdriver with an insulated handle on it, you could kind of bridge that and touch them. If you do, you should see this starter crank. And you'll see a little sparks right there. It's not something I would advise. I've done it before. I think using a multimeter is just another way to go, and you could test the switch. I think it's a little safer. But let's go ahead and get this off right here. Should be it. You just kind of have to break that nut free, and this will come off. Take the other nut off now. We're going to want to remove the mounting post. There's two of them. There's one right here and one on the other side. So we have our original solenoid right here, and then we have the new one. And you can see they're laid out in a very similar fashion here. And if you take a closer look at this original one that was in, you can see that this post right here at the base is just kind of melted out. And that might be part of our problem, but it is time to be replaced. Now, when you look at the new one, it looks like we have kind of an additional tab here, which we don't need. And we have a couple little nuts here that we can take off. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the nut off, take the tab off, because our configuration with our mower, it just doesn't use that. You can see these posts right here are just sticking up, and it's just a circular clamp that fits on top, and it's just done by force. So let's go ahead and just take this off right here. Before we put the new one in, let's go ahead and clean this up. See, we got some dirt and debris down here. As you go to connect these wires back, if you have this model of mower, and you see you have this circular connection, which this is just being connected by tension, feel free to take some pliers and just clamp that down a little bit. Now, this is still pretty taut, so I feel fine with it. We're gonna go ahead and remove the nut right here. And we're gonna take our washer off right here. Try not to let this drop because it can be kind of difficult to find depending on your situation. And let's go ahead and just take the other one off since we're going to need them both. And remember how the wires connect back. If you forget, you can always take a picture before you start the whole process, but I know that I just have the positive cable running to my starter on this post over here. And you're going to put that on, take your washer, put your washer on top of the post, and then we're going to take our new nut and put that on top. All right, that's on there nice and snug. Just move it around. Be sure you don't have a lot of wiggle going on there. And let's go ahead and hook up our battery. Now, when we go to do this, I'm kind of looking at this and I can see at the boot is, you can see how it's just kind of melted over time and we've had some problems with it. But take a look at your connector and be sure that it is it's clean. And if you need to, you can grab yourself a little steel wool or a wire brush and scrub it down. Mine's looking pretty good right here, so I'm gonna leave it as is. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on top. And then we're gonna take our other wire right here. This was connected to it. We're gonna slip that on. Now, keep in mind, you do not want to touch these two posts at this point because we have our battery hooked up, and it's not that super bad things will happen, but you would probably get some sparks and all that good stuff. So just be a little conscious of that. It's nice and snug. It's time for the moment of truth. Will replacing the solenoid fix our problem? Well, we're going to find out together. I have not tried it yet, so we'll see what happens. Now, I don't really need this to start at this time, but let's go ahead and just get our choke on. And what I'm really hoping for is just to hear it crank. And I'm going to go ahead and turn this to the on position. And we're going to find out when I go ahead and turn this if it cranks or not. Let's see what happens here. Well, this was a big success and a nice win for my day. And if you're having problems with your mower and it's not starting, then consider it might be the solenoid, and don't be intimidated. If I can do it, you can do it as well. The cost of the part really isn't bad at all, at least for now. We'll have to see the impact of tariffs and what they do to the parts that we buy today, but it's really not a bad process to go ahead and replace it if you need to. So if it's really struggling to start or you're getting that clicking sound, just know this may be your problem. Now, I hope you're having a great day, and I hope this video has helped you out. And if it has, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel. More often than not, I post videos about photography and technology, but you never know. So until the next video, take care of yourself and be safe.